Hello, happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to the Just Farm webinar. I'm just going to give it literally 60 more seconds just in case anyone's joining a minute late. Please feel free, go and grab a cup of coffee, cup of tea, a sandwich, and we'll kick off in the next minute. Okay. A minute feels like a really long time when you're not talking to anyone. So let's kick off. So yes, welcome everyone. We will be recording today's session. I have to let you all know. But welcome. Let me share my screen so you can all see. Hopefully you can all see that okay. Grant, give me a thumbs up. Wonderful. Okay. So again, welcome to our short, sharp 30-minute webinar today, all around JustFarm in action. So you'll be seeing a live demo as we go through. We've got the Q&A function. So any questions you have, please feel free to put them in there. We'll try and make sure we have time at the end of that. And a quick hello from me. So I'm Iona, I'm the commercial director at JustFarm. My role is all around making sure we look after our farmers and agents. And Grant, do you want to say a quick hello to yourself?
Hi, I'll say hello to everyone else as well. I'm Grant, I'm the Chief Product Officer at JustFarm. It's my job to try and make the whole platform as good as we possibly can.
You do a pretty good job there, Grant. And we've got the lovely Lara in the background who will be helping me as we go through. So a quick introduction to us. So some of you may know us from Flock Finder, some of you may know us from JustFarm, but we are all about making and helping farmers improve their day-to-day working lives. And that might be through Flock Finder, where it's all around managing your livestock, or JustFarm, which is all around helping farmers and their agents manage their environmental schemes. So obviously incredibly relevant to what we're going to talk you through today. So today's webinar is all around seeing JustFarm in action. There's a lot in the platform. We're not going to be able to cover everything. We'll give you, we'll do a poll partway through so you can choose your own adventure, as Grant would say. But in the essence of time, I'm going to hand over to you, Grant, to take us through the demo.
Thanks very much, Iona. And as always at the start, I will say that if you don't understand anything I've been saying at any point, I won't take any offense. I'm from the cold northwest of this island, and sometimes people don't fully understand my accent. So this is a perfect opportunity for me to call out the Q&A section. Write any question you have or anything you didn't understand, write it in there and we'll get back to it. I also just want to say I noticed a few names I recognized from the attendees today. There's some people on our pro tier. I just want to say thanks very much, and thanks for all the feedback that some of the people on the call have already given us to help improve the platform. It's something we're doing every day. So without further ado, I will share my screen and we'll get started on the demo. So as I said, some of you have already created an account, you're already using JustFarm, but I'll start right at the start for people who are not. If you go to justfarm.app, that's our main website, and then you can create an account from there. It takes a few seconds, it's a standard email and password. Once you've created your account, you can log in and you'll be taken to go.justfarm.app, which is where the main web platform is. And I'm going to show you first just what it's like to set up your farm, and then we'll move on from there. So to set up your first farm, you just enter an SBI number and you give the farm a name. We'll call this web demo. And then you're off to the races. I'm just going to dismiss this pop-up. This is just helping you kind of guide you where to go next if you're not sure what to do. But I'll just show you what's behind it here. So we now have a beautiful interactive map of your farm where you can see all of your fields, and you can click on any of these fields and you can see more details on the right. So whenever you click on a field in JustFarm, a panel will open on the right that gives you more details about that specific field. So what you get in here is the land data, such as the parcel ID, the area, and the land cover. You'll also see hedgerow data. And then there's a section here that says actions, which isn't filled in right now, but we're going to get to that in just a second. So this is where we're going to see the information on the agreements. One small thing I want to point out in here is that you can give your land parcels actual field names here, if you want to refer to them by their actual field name rather than this horrible parcel ID. So that's getting your land data in there. It's very quick, it's fairly intuitive, but it's not that exciting. What is exciting is the next step. So what we're going to do now is we're going to map out an SFI agreement on this land. We accept SFI, Countryside Stewardship, and Capital Grants agreements at the moment, so you can upload any of those to your farm. To do that, you go to the agreement section and you can drag and drop an agreement PDF. In this case, I'll take an SFI 2023 agreement for this farm. When you press upload agreement, we then read through that agreement document and extract out all the data and map it to your farm. So taking all of those actions that are in there and the coverage areas and mapping it out to the correct place on the farm for you. For a smallish farm, this one's 35 hectares, it takes about 20 seconds. For a larger farm, it'll take a few seconds longer, maybe up to a minute for a really big farm, but it's no time at all and it'll all be mapped out. And I'm filling for time now, and there we go, it's done. So when it's done, you'll see you get a little success message and it'll show you that the colors on the map will have changed, and that's showing you that there's now information, there's actions from that agreement on these fields now. So if we click back into the field we were in before, you'll see the action section is now filled out with what actions we have from that agreement on that field. So we have SAM1 and LIG1 in this agreement for this field, and it shows us the coverage area. In this case, it's pretty much the full parcel, and it also shows us the start and end date. So that's the agreement start and end date for these actions on this field. Once you've done that and you want to see more details about that field and about those actions, you can click on any of them and it'll take you to an individual page for that field, where again it shows you more information about the land, but also further down the page you get information on all actions that are on that field. Now we've got SAM1 and LIG1 here. If we also uploaded a Countryside Stewardship agreement, for example, that had actions on this field, they would be listed here too. So you can see everything in one place. One of the things that the people already using JustFarm love about it is being able to see all of your agreements mapped out in the same place and have them all at your fingertips. As you continue to scroll down the page, you get more information on the specific actions. So you can select one of the actions that are on this field. So we've got SAM1 here and LIG1. If we select LIG1, it'll show us more information for LIG1 below. So this is a guidance information, kind of letting you know what does it really mean to have LIG1 on this field. So you get a summary and you get what to do, when to do it, how to do it, evidence needed, and also when we have it from the guidance, restrictions. So what you must not do and what you must do for this action. So our system has ingested all of the government guidance for SFI, Countryside Stewardship, and Capital Grants. And here we're kind of giving you the kind of key details, what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and what evidence you need to collect. So boiling it down for you into simple terms that you can read through quickly. But if you do want to see the official guidelines, you can click out here. You're always able to click out to the actual government guidance documents and see all of the letter of the law, as it were. Before you do that, though, I would point out one thing that's here that is a nice in-between option. We've added an AI assistant. So this AI assistant is kind of like ChatGPT, but it's been trained as an expert on the SFI, Countryside Stewardship, and Capital Grant schemes. So it's been trained with all of that information, all of that guidance documentation. So you can ask it, if you have a more specific question about your scheme or about one of the actions, you can ask it here and it should give you a fairly succinct answer, and it'll also link you out to where to find more information on the government documents. So let's just try it out. So let's just say we want to know, like, is there anything I need to do for leg 1 in February? And it'll take a little few seconds to think, and then it should give us an answer on that question. So it's looking through all the government guidance document, trying to find out, okay, is there actually anything you really need to do for Lig 1 in January? It'll then give you some of the context and information about that, information about timing for this action, for example, then a summary at the end. And then, as I said before, it'll link you out to where to find the actual, the ground truth guidance and the government documentation. So again, if you've got questions, if you've uploaded your agreement, you've got more detailed questions about it, I'd highly recommend using this to try and get to an answer before trying to find exactly where to find all that information in all of those government guidance documents. There's one more thing I want to show you here at the moment, which is if you go into the settings and go to team, you can actually add other people by just putting their email address in. So I can add Iona at justfarm.app. And these people are invited as collaborators, which means they can see the agreement details, they can see the map of the farm, they can get that guidance. And in a second, I'll show you they can also upload evidence, but they can't do anything else. They can't edit your farm, they can't delete your agreements, they can't do anything like that. They can just see the agreement details and they can help you collect evidence in the event that you're paying for a pro farm. But on the basic farm, they would just see a map of the farm and agreements, and you can invite as many people as you want. So I'm just going to send an invite, and you'll be able to see when they've accepted. One other thing I want to point out here is that we also have a mobile companion app. You can click down here to get links to where to download it for an iPhone or Android. And again, it's free to download, and you'll be able to see all of your agreement details, the map of your farm, the guidance information. So if you want that when you're out there on the farm and you just want it in your pocket, I highly recommend using the mobile companion app, and we'll come back to that as well when we're talking about evidence upload. So I'm just going to come back out to where we were before, and I'll mention now that all of what you've seen there is on the basic plan. So that is free. So as Iona said, it takes no time at all to go and actually create an account, get it set up. I highly recommend you do it. And if you have SFI, Countryside Stewardship and Capital Grants agreements, just go and make your farm, upload them. You'll have everything in one place. You can have it on the mobile app. You'll always be able to refer to them and get that guidance. That's all completely free. So that's free to use, no restrictions. Just go and do it. Where we flip over to what we call the pro plan for a farm, which is the paid plan, is what everything you're about to see from here on in. So if I didn't mention it there as well, you can invite as many people as you want as well on the basic plan. So if you have contractors, other family members, whoever it happens to be, agronomists that you're working with, and you just want them to be able to see your agreement details all mapped out on the farm, you can add as many people as you want on the basic plan. But now everything from this point on I'm going to show you is on the pro plan. So if we have a piece of evidence we want to upload for one of these actions on this field, then we can click into, we'll come back into Lig 1 here, for example, and we'll see that down at the bottom of each page of the for each field and for each action is an evidence log. So on that evidence log, there's an upload evidence button. When we click it, we'll be prompted to upgrade to Pro because, as I said, this is a Pro feature. When we click that, we'll be able to upload evidence. So you can drag and drop any file you want. We'll just take an example image of a field here. Continue. It'll automatically label it with the current agreement year that we're in. But if it's actually a picture you're uploading of historic evidence, you can select a previous agreement year as well, or you can select multiple. That's up to you. And you can also add any notes you want. So we'll just say this is a test. So it's important to point out as well that you can add these notes without adding a file. So if you just want to write something to record a field operation or use it as a field log, field diary, whatever you want to call it, you can write that in here as well without having to add a picture or add any other files. When you click upload, it'll then be saved in the evidence log at the bottom for this field and for this action. So it'll show you who uploaded it, when they did it, what notes were written, what the actual file is that you can click on and actually see and open up in a new tab, and what agreement year it's tagged to. So whenever you upload a piece of evidence, it's tagged to agreement years, to land parcels, and it's also tagged to actions. And that will allow us to store it in a really structured way, which is going to help us in the future when it comes to doing things like producing inspection reports, which I'll show you in a second. So that's how to upload an individual piece of evidence to a single action on a field. So if you've been out there in the field, you've got leg one, you've done something for it, you've got a picture or an invoice or a receipt, whatever it happens to be, and you want to upload it, that's where you would do it. Now, if you are actually out in the field and you're doing something and you want to take the evidence of it for that action that you're doing, I would highly recommend, again, using the companion app to do that, the mobile app, because in that case, when you're on the Pro plan, it'll show you the field you're in. You select the field, you select the action, and when you go to upload evidence, it just opens up the camera app on your phone. So you can take a picture straight in your phone and it'll upload into here, into this evidence log. And it's all linked. So if you upload from your mobile app, you'll be able to see it here on the desktop version, on your laptop or your desktop computer in the evidence log. If someone else uploads to this field from the mobile app, if you've got a contractor or someone else doing work out there, they can take that picture and upload it rather than having to send it to you and you upload it as well. You'll see it all comes back to the same place. So that's how to do it for one field. I'm just going to show you quickly. Say you have something that actually applies to multiple fields. There's also a way to do that. So say we select this big field again, and we're looking at soil assessment here, SAM1. Say we've produced a soil management plan and we just want to record that, that document as evidence for this agreement. If we click upload evidence here down on the side panel, we can again select the file we want, soil management plan. And here, when we continue, it'll ask us, right, which of the actions is this for? We'll say it's for SAM1. And then it'll give us a list, again, of the agreement years. We can tag it as all agreement years if we want. And it'll give us a list of all the parcels that have SAM1. There's big field already selected. But if you want to add any more fields, so you can just do this in bulk rather than having to go field by field, you can say, select all. Just call this our soil management plan. Upload, and then it'll be saved to all those fields. So now if I come into one of the other fields I know has SAM1 on it, like this one, and I come into SAM1 here and I scroll down, there it is. It's in the evidence log for that field as well. So it's always tagged with field, action, agreement years, so you can always find it in any of the fields and any of the evidence logs it should be for each field. And that's a quick way to do it across the whole farm. So how do I know what I've uploaded and what I haven't? How can I keep track of the progress of my compliance and my evidence upload? The way we do that is in the Actions tab here. So in the Actions tab, we can come to, for example, SAM1 there, which we just uploaded evidence for. And in here, again, you can get guidance on what SAM1 is, and it shows you all the land parcels that are attached to SAM1. And down here, there's a progress tracker section. So for each year of your agreement, there's a progress tracker. And all it is here is a kind of tick box. So it's a to-do list. You can tick off the evidence as you upload it. So you can say, right, we've got our soil management plan. That's uploaded in there. Tick it off. And then if you come back to the main page of agreements, you'll see now there's a little progress bar here that shows you the evidence upload for SAM1 year 1 is now in progress. In progress is blue, completed is green. So if we come back into SAM1, it's only in progress because we've only ticked off one of the boxes. But if we were to say we've also uploaded our soil organic matter test results and mark this as complete, to just say I'm happy, we've got all the evidence we need, just tick that off, lock it down. If we come back to the actions page, we'll see that's turned green. So this page then becomes a little kind of progress tracker for you. You can get a high level view of across all of your actions and your agreements. Where are we in progress with our evidence upload? What have we still got left to find? What have we locked down? And then the final bit I want to show you before I take a break and let you choose your own adventure, as Iona said, is what do I do when it's time for a farm inspection? So what if I've been emailed by the RPA requesting evidence as a desk inspection, so requesting you to send them stuff, for your evidence, or what if they've told us that they're coming out to the farm to have a look at things. Well, I'll start with the latter first, but I would say if a farm inspector is coming out onto your farm, what I love about using JustFarm is before they ask to see all the pictures on your phone or all the files in your filing cabinet or walk out in to see the actual fields, you could say, hey, I'm using JustFarm. I've got it all stored and uploaded here. Come and have a look. Choose any field you want, any action, and it's all tagged up there for them. So if they want to see big field, show me everything you've done for your leg one on big field, you just click the big field, click leg one, and you can show them, here's the evidence, here's when it was uploaded, here's the notes I've written for it. It's all structured. They can see that, and it helps them quickly see that you're actually taking this seriously. You've got your evidence as well. They still probably will want to walk out there into the field and see it, and they might actually want to see some documents in their hand, but I think this is a great way to start off that inspection on the right foot. And then secondly, if you do want to export all of the evidence for a specific set of fields and a specific set of actions, especially if you've been requested by the RPA to send them that evidence in a desk inspection, then you can come to the inspection reports option here, click on create your first report, select the agreement that you're creating a report for and the agreement year. And then the next thing to do is select the actions. So you don't have to export everything. If you've only been asked to show the evidence for SAM1, for example, then you only have to choose SAM1. And you might have only been asked for a specific set of fields. So big field, there it is. Maybe you've been asked for these other fields here. And you can select all the fields for that action that you're being inspected on, add it to the report, and then you can go back if you want. You can add other actions and other fields, but when you're ready, you just click create report, and what that'll do is in a couple of seconds it creates a download for you for that report, and the download is a zip file, so I'll show you what's in it. It's not scary at all. It's a zip file that you can download, and then when we open it up, what you'll see is there's a file folder structure for each action. So if you have SAM1, leg1, whatever else, SAM3, there'll be a folder for each one. Inside of that will be all of the evidence files for the fields that you've requested for that action. So the actual files themselves. And what comes along with it is a summary kind of index PDF, which explains a bit about this farm and agreement, and then lists out all of the evidence that's in the report. So there's a table for each action. This is the table for SAM1, and it'll have all the file names, a row for each file name that's in the report, any notes that were written against that file, and it tells you exactly what land parcels that file was uploaded to. So then the inspector has everything they need. They have all the file names, all the linkages to the land parcels, and they've got the actual files themselves that they can look at and refer to. So I'm going to stop sharing just there for a second. So what I showed you there, so you saw the basic package, what you can get for free, which is mapping out your farm, uploading all your agreements and sharing with team members who might want to see all that information and get all that guidance. And then the kind of core functionality that is the key core on the Pro plan, which is all around compliance, like storing your evidence securely in a structured way, producing reports, tracking what you've got. There's a few other features that are in Pro, and I don't want to take all the time to show you because it would take a lot longer than the 20 minutes I have to give this demo here. So what I want to let you do is choose your own adventure. So we've got 3 other kind of big features in there that I think are worth really pointing out. But I want to let the crowd kind of choose which one they're most interested in seeing. So Lara, if you could start the poll, you should all have a chance to vote here on which one you're most interested in. So the 3 that you have to choose from are how you would manage rotational actions on JustFarm. The second one is how you would add custom annotations to a map, to your map of your farm in JustFarm. And the third one is actually printing out maps and guidance documents for your farm and for your agreement. So go ahead, submit the one you're most interested in seeing, and we'll share the results in just a second. Let's see if we can see the results. Okay, I think we already have an early leader, and I'm honestly not surprised. It's one of the most commonly requested features when I'm showing demos to people. So it looks like at the moment we've got 57%, a majority of the vote, looking to see how we cover rotational action management on JustFarm. So I'm going to try and do this in a couple of minutes, and then we'll have time for questions as well at the end. Okay, let me share my screen again. So just quickly, I want to point out that you can manage rotational actions in the basic plan, and you can also do it with a kind of more specific tool in the Pro plan. So in the basic plan, if you click on any field, there's actually an edit option here next to actions, which you can use to change the actions that are on that field. So you can either edit the details of the ones that are currently there or remove them for whatever reason you want, or you could add other actions to that parcel. So you can select something like SAM3 here, which is the rotational action. You can choose the date range, you can choose the coverage area, and you can add it to that parcel. So I just want to quickly point out that that is how you would manage rotational actions and where they are on your farm if you're using the free version of the app. But then you have to do it, click kind of field by field, and just use this edit button here. Now, for those of you on the Pro plan, there's this button up here in the top right, Plan Rotations. And what you do in here is you click on that and then you choose the rotational action you're planning for. In this case, we only have one at SAM3 in this agreement, herbal lays. You select the year of the agreement you're planning for. In this case, we'll say it's year 1. We're just putting them in place where they are. And then you can give a name to your plan, and you can also set a different date range for this rotation. We know that some people want to set the date range of their actual cropping rotation, not their agreement period. It'll by default pull in your agreement years, but you can change that date as well. When you click Create Plan, it opens you up into a new version of the map, which colors the land parcels based on where you can move these rotational actions. So the gray fields are ones you can move to. I'll just say Add Action here, and you can choose the coverage and add to it. It turns blue when you're planning to add your rotational there. The yellow fields you can add the rotational to, but we're telling you there's a potential issue that you might want to watch out for. So our system understands the compatibility rules of the actions, and it can highlight any potential issues. So just to give you a warning, you can still add it, but we're letting you know there might be an issue that you maybe should think about whether you can or cannot move this action onto that field. But if you really want, you can still add it. You can set the coverage area and add it. And as you're doing that in the top right here, it shows you how the coverage is changing and how that changes the financials. Again, we're just assigning this for year 1. So at the moment it would say 0, but when you go into year 2, it would show you the change between what you've got in year 1 and year 2. And it would also do this calculation on what's called the 50% rule, which is checking, have you assigned it to at least 50% of what you agreed to in your initial agreement? Because for SFI, that's a rule that you have to follow. And when you're happy, you can just click Apply. You get a little summary, and then when you say Apply, it takes you back out into the main map, and we can now see that the rotational action is there. And we can see the date range. And again, whenever you want to plan for the next year, you just open that up again, plan your year 2. And I think a key thing to point out here is when you do rotate on JustFarm, we save that historic information, so it shows you where it used to be as well. So you've still got that. It'll show you it was completed, and it'll grey it out slightly, but you can still upload historic evidence. It's all recorded there, so you've got that historic record of where your rotationals have been, and planning also where they're going. Right, we were just about out of time, but I think we've got some time to take questions. I'll hand over to Iona quickly again.
Thank you, Grant. And I think if there was anything to take away from that whistle-stop tour is that there is a lot in JustFarm. So please go on, please go and explore. And before we kind of get to questions, just to say kind of the recommended next steps we would do. As I say, sign up to a free account. It's really quick and easy to do. Everything you've seen Grant do on that basic plan, you have access to. Feel free to play around. We did a webinar on last week on SFI 2026, what we know and how to get ready. Please feel free to re-watch that. We also have the planning feature coming, which may be relevant for a lot of you looking to apply. And then finally, any questions you have, please feel free to get into contact. We've got some QR codes there for you to set up the free account and scan to re-watch the webinar. But conscious that we're on time, so for those of you that need to leave, please feel free to drop off. But I know we've got a few questions, so if you are able to stay, please do, and we'll cover these questions here. So a few questions from Linda. Thanks for sharing, Linda. So where is the SFI data coming from? When you submit RID for year 2, at what point can it update the locations? And the same questions for the countryside stewardship. Grant, could you take that one?
So at the moment, our SFI data comes from that agreement document, so that PDF I uploaded at the start. So if you have the original agreement document, that's where that SFI data is coming from. Same for countryside stewardship, same for capital grants. So as far as updating your rotational and annual declaration, when you do that, that's the rotational management tool I showed you there, is how you move around your rotationals or plan those rotationals on JustFarm. The RPA is now offering an updated document to show you where those rotationals are when you do that declaration that people can download. We don't do this right now, but something we're looking into the potential of is using that document to update where the rotationals are on JustFarm, but that is not a current feature.
Great. Thank you, Grant. Next one from Linda. Thank you, Linda. If we buy this as an agent for multiple clients, presumably we can share the data with the farmer. I see you've answered that one already. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, so what I showed you within the individual farm is adding team members. So there's actually a couple of places you can add collaborators and team members. So if you're an agent and you're working with colleagues, you can add at the organization level. So if you added multiple farms, you could add a colleague on your team who could see all of those farms and help you manage them. But you can also do what I showed you in there, which is for an individual farm, you can invite people to that farm, and those people would only see the data for that farm. So if you go and set up a client's farm, upload their agreements, you can then invite them as a team member within that farm, and they'll see everything as well. And they'll be able to download the mobile app. If you're on Pro, upload evidence, you'll see it all come through, so you can kind of work together on that farm.
Thank you. We've got a comment here from Dr. Julie. Thank you for sharing this. This is all about just making everything as accessible for everyone, no matter what the background. So thank you for sharing, and thank you for the offer of help. I will definitely take a look into that. So thank you. And then final question, also from our star questioner, Linda. Thank you. Have you ever thought about developing similar software to help with red tractor leaf audit requirements?
Yes, so great question. Thanks again, Linda. We're currently focused on SFI, Countryside Stewardship, capital grants, as I said, and we kind of want to absolutely nail that to start. But we are absolutely interested in making this an app, if we can, that helps with as much of this kind of compliance on a farm as possible. I think one of the issues a lot of farmers face is using multiple apps and multiple websites to do everything. So, you know, it's very much something we're interested in the future. We're not planning it right now in the immediate, you know, few days or next weeks, but definitely something we've got an eye on is, if we're helping you comply with everything else, can we help you with any other compliance audit requirements you have on a farm? Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, well, those are all the questions that I can see. So all that's left to say is thanks very much for joining and taking time out today to join us. Please do go on, if you haven't already, create that free account. It takes a few minutes, have a play. And if you have any feedback, please do share that with us, and rewatch the SFI 2026 webinar. It was just a short 30 minutes, and I hope you find it insightful. So yes, anything else, any other ideas that you have for future webinars, please do let us know. We always love to hear from you. So take care, everyone, and speak again soon.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.